Okay. In method overloading, what we did, we we taken same name as calculate, and name will be same, but the same method will be exist in different forms. Here it is for two integers, here it is for two floats, and each method will perform different operations. But the thing is the same, that is calculate method. What is the advantage of this is we maintain code cleanliness. Okay. With the name, with the same name, we are able to achieve multiple things. That is an advantage. And as and when whichever is required based upon what value we pass to these methods, that method will be selected. This is an advantage of method overloading. Now we will see method overriding. Okay, so I hope you do not have any doubts in method overloading and polymorphism. Okay.
Yes.
All right, but practice is very important. At least one program, you must do at least one program every day. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, and you, I am expecting from you to send that screenshot of that program to me. Okay. You can send me on WhatsApp.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. In the method overriding, we will see now. In this, what we do when we want to provide our own some implementation, if there is some already method available in Java, and if we want to provide our own implementation instead of existing implementation, then we do method overriding. This method overriding is also called as dynamic dispatch. We do method overriding in super and subclass, but when we do method overloading, we do that within same class, and method overriding is done within super and subclass. There is a method in superclass, let's say A, and we don't want to call definition of that method, but we want to call a same method, but we want to execute a different definition. In that case, we do method overriding. For example, here you can see this is a class 1 and this is class 2. Now what I want to do is I want to call a calculate method, but I don't want to execute this implementation. I want to execute my own implementation. For that, what I will do, I will extend this. I want to keep the method name same, but I want to execute different definition. And why I want to keep a same method name, because I want that method name same in whole system. Okay, I want to follow some standards. That's why I want to keep same name, but I want to execute a different method definition. In that case, what I do method overriding. Class 2 extends 1, and here I am overriding that method. Name will be same, return type will be same. This is called a method signature. This line is called method signature, in which method name, parameters, return type, this all things will be there. And in method overriding, signatures will be same, but in method overloading, signatures will be different. In method overriding, this is a signature, this is a method. For this, we are trying to provide different implementation. So we keep method signature as it is, but definition will be different. In this, you can see we are printing square of x. But in this class 2, in this implementation, overriding method, we are providing implementation for square root method, sqrt. This is called method overriding. We will see program for this. First, we will see program for that, and then we will see difference between that two. You able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. In this package, we will create one class called method overriding demo. Public static void main finish. Let's take a same example class 1 and class 2. This is our, let's say this is our class 2, class 3 void calculate. This we will calculate square of x. X into x, and I will override that method into this int x. Here we will calculate square root. There is a package called java.lang, and in that math class is available. This java.lang package is given by Java people, and in that math class is available. With the help of that class, this is a static method, sqrt. We can call this method directly, and this method will return square root of a number. We provide here one number x. Now square root of x will be calculated and displayed. This was implementation for calculate method in A. I want to calculate square root instead of square, so I did method overriding. Now create reference variable of a equal to, and provide object of subclass. But I should extend superclass. This is our superclass. This is our subclass. How we do method overriding? First, we create reference variable of superclass, and we assign object of subclass, for which we want to call implementation. Now a dot calculate 10. Here you can see it will not call this one implementation. It will not call A's implementation. It will call subclass implementation. Let's run this. Square root of x equal to, I give here some space, here also some space. Square root of x equal to 3.60. So it's calculated square root. So this is called method overriding. I not executed this one. I executed this one. This is called method overriding in polymorphism. Any doubt in this?
Yes, line number 20, we have the line number 20. We before we saw when creating the object, same class name, but over here we're saying the super and the subclass.
Yes. See, for example, there is one more class. Okay. Can you please repeat your question?
Line number 20.
Okay.
We usually see what we saw before, that when we're creating the object, we're using the same class name,
Correct.
right? But over here, we are using two different classes to create the object.
Yeah. So your question
So
is why
why?
we are, yeah.
Why?
Yeah, the reason
Hanji.
behind it, yes, the reason behind it is when we don't want to do method overriding, okay, and we just want to execute some code to accomplish some task. In that case, we write a method and we create an object of this class and we call that method, that's it. But this class already have some method and implementation. Now what the thing is, I cannot change. In what happens in our whole system, we maintain naming conventions and naming standards. Most of the time you can see when you go to work on a big project, IT software project, in that what happens, there are some coding standards, naming conventions, and as per that you have, most of the times you have to follow the same name. Okay, that's why what here you must do, you cannot write some different name and you will write some code here. You have to follow the same name, but if you follow the same name, then how it can be done, right? If I do like this, okay, then this is not a method overrider. It means what? There is a method name and that will be fixed. Okay, whenever we want to calculate something, there must be calculate only. Okay, this is a standard defined by this superclass. But there is someone, another user, what he say, I don't want to execute the same implementation. I want to execute my own implementation. Then in this case, what he will do, he will write one class, okay, and he will extend to this A class and he will write his own implementation. But if I do A equal to new A, okay, then this implementation will not get called. To call this implementation, for that what we should do, we should create object of, we should assign the object of this class, this user. Okay, it means what? We are bypassing implementation of this class, of this method. We are bypassing it. We are not executing this one. We are executing our own. Suppose, for example, there is one more class called, suppose there is one more another programmer. He say, I don't want to execute this implementation. I want to execute my implementation. I want to call some, calculate some different thing. Okay. For example, I want to calculate, he says cube. Then what he must do? He must extend, and this name will be B, extends A. Index x. This is cube. Now, to execute class B's implementation, what we do, but method name is same. Then for that we assign object of B. Whenever we write new keyword and class name, then meaning of that is, meaning of this selected part is object of B. Okay, this is also way. See, there are two ways. I can write like this also, B1 equal to new B. I can write like this, then B1 is object, or I can write like this also, new B. This is also object. Okay, and here we are passing object of B to A. A is a reference variable here, where A is an object. Although if you write like this, A equal to null, then this is not an object. This is just a reference variable. We, to assign some other object, we declare reference variable. Okay, here I am assigning a reference variable for superclass A, then new B. I want to execute class B's implementation. So provide object of class B. If you want to execute this class implementation method or overriding demo, then provide the object of that class. So here new B want to execute its implementation. I provide an object of this class. Now A will have an object of B and A dot calculate. Then A's method will not get called. Method of B will get called. Getting?
Yes.
Yeah, because we want to override something. Whenever we want to override something, also why would we override it? So simply first I told to provide our own implementation, something different implementation than existing implementation. This is the thing why would overriding. And Java provided lots of classes, inbuilt classes and methods, ready-made methods. But sometimes we don't want to call Java's implementation and we want to call our own implementation. For example, there is an equals method in string class and that equals method has some implementation. If we don't want to execute equal methods implementation, we will override equals method. We will write equals method, we will override that and we'll write implementation. And how to override that? Write a class, extend to that class in which a method is available for which we want to override. Then write a same method name and different implementation. Hope you are clear here. Any doubt?
No doubt.
All right. So we did here method overriding. Now we will see. We can see now the implementation of AR class. This class will not be called. Implementation of B will be called. Let's run this. You can see cube of 10 because B class calculate method has implementation of calculating cube here. So cube of 10 is 1000. So this is about method overriding. Let us see some difference between method overriding and overriding. Difference between method overloading. We do method overloading for code cleanliness, for code readability. Then we do method overriding to provide new implementation. So this was the main basic difference between these two. And let us see some more differences. We do method overloading within same class. In method overloading, method name will be same, but signatures will be different. And in method overriding, signature will be same, method name will be same, signature will be same, but method definitions will be different. In method overloading, class name is same. Within same class, we do method overloading. And in method overriding, we do it in super and subclass. Return type, same or different. In method overloading, return type can be same or different. In method overriding, return type will be always same. JVM decides by method signatures. In method overloading, which one method to execute, that is decided by JVM. And in method overriding, JVM decides by the class. Okay, here by method signatures, JVM decides with which method to call. But in method overriding, by class name, JVM decides. Okay, this is a difference. Again, to extend the already available feature, we use method overloading, and to provide completely different implementation for the same feature or for the same method, we use method overriding. This is a code refinement. This is a code replacement. We completely provide a different implementation for method overriding. Okay, so this is about differences. Yeah, again, one thing is in runtime polymorphism, we can do method overloading also. We saw, first of all, two types: compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism. Compile time is also called as static polymorphism, dynamic Runtime polymorphism is also called as dynamic polymorphism. In static polymorphism, we can do only compile time. We can do only method overloading, but not method overriding. But in dynamic polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, we can do method overloading as well as method overriding. Okay. So in static polymorphism, at the time of doing method overloading, what we were doing, we were giving some keywords like static, final, or private to method names to make a compile time polymorphism. But when we don't provide static or private or final keyword for methods, then that will be dynamic polymorphism. Okay. Here you can see this is a class method OL demo. Here is one variable method called sum method, and in this you can see this is method overloading. So this will not contain, this is a dynamic polymorphism, it's runtime polymorphism. That's why here will not be static or private or final. It's private or final. So this is runtime polymorphism. If I make it a static method, then this will be compile time polymorphism, means compile time method overloading. But if I don't write this, if I don't write static or private or final, then this is runtime polymorphism. Then whole concept is same, whichever we learned into compile time polymorphism. Concept is same. Method signatures will be same like this. Information about method, its scope, return type, method name, parameters. This will be same, but method definitions will be different. Sorry, method signature will be different and method definition will be different, but method name will be same. Okay, which we saw in compile time polymorphism. Same thing. Now, I want to call this method's implementation. That means, yeah, this one, a plus b, result of two unparameterized sum method. Then I pass two integers. When I want to execute this one, int double, this one method definition, then I provide first integer and then second double number. If I write here f, then this is considered as float type of value. So it will find for such a method which will have a second value float. When I give only decimal point number, then this is considered as double type, double data type. Means bigger decimal point number. In this case, it will select this one, and in this case, it will select this one implementation. So this is about method overloading, which we saw already. We saw this. Only the difference is we don't write here static or private or final keywords. This is about method overloading. Any doubt in this?
No, I'm okay.
Yes, this is one simple, another one example for method overriding. You can try this. Static polymorphism. Polymorphism exhibited at compile time is called static polymorphism. Compiler knows, okay, this point we saw, method called to method overloading is called static polymorphism. Achieving method overloading using static methods, private methods, we saw this point. All the methods maintain only one copy in memory that is available to object of class. So compiler know at compile time that which method is called. Okay. Overloading is possible. All right. Final class. To prevent inheritance, we use final classes. Okay, for example, if my requirement is this class A should not be overridden by any class, I have some methods in it, and no one should inherit this class like this. Also, meaning of it is, I don't want to provide my class A class properties to anyone. I don't want to expose this class properties to anyone. In this case, I make this class as final. Then what will happen? This will become a final class, and then no one can access its properties. Means no one can do inheritance. This is a final class. Also, we use final keyword for to declare constants. Means if we write a variable and store a value, then that variable's value can be changed, can be reassigned, can be changed during program execution, but value of constant cannot be changed during program execution, cannot be assigned a different value to the constants during program execution. And to make a variable constant or to define a constant, simply we write a final keyword before variable name. Now this pi is not a variable, it's a constant. Its value will not be changed during program execution. This is second thing. Then when we use final keyword with method, then that method cannot be overridden. For example, if I write some class A, for example, here is a class A. I have two methods, M1 and M2. Point is, this method can be overridden. Okay, that's okay for me. Anyone can access this method. Any class can access this method by extending this class. But I don't want to share this method. I don't want to allow this method accessed by any other class. For that, what I do, I declare this method final. Before this method name, I write final. Then this will not be overridden by any other class, or this cannot be accessed by any other class. This method cannot be overridden. To prevent overriding, whichever we saw before this program, for that we make a method final. This is about final keyword. Any doubt in this? Clear?
Can we make the final method also private, or that is not necessary?
See, what can be the difference between final and private? Suppose if I say this is a final method, this is a private method. It depends on your requirement. Okay. When we do private, when we say this class should be accessed within same class only, not outside, then we make it as a private. But it's okay. Actually, how the thing is, M2 will be accessed outside the class. Okay, but that cannot be overridden. Okay, it means what? My requirement is, when depends on requirement. Whenever what requirement is there, based upon that you will make your method either private or final. Suppose your requirement is that my method strictly should not be accessible outside the class. In that case, what will you do? You make the method as private. Okay, and if your requirement is my method can be accessed outside the class, but that should not be overridden. Okay, in that case, you make it as a final. So depends on what you are going to do. What is your requirement? Getting?
Yes.
Let's go ahead. This is end of polymorphism. We saw polymorphism. This is end of polymorphism. Okay. Now, in next session, we will see what is encapsulation and abstraction. Till now, we saw two object-oriented concepts, inheritance and polymorphism. And in next session, we will see next object-oriented concepts, encapsulation and abstraction. Okay. So you can write one program now for method overriding. Have you written program for method overloading?
No,
Okay, can you please start writing method overloading for 5 minutes? We have 5 minutes in that. Open your editor.
I will do it. I will send it to you.
No problem. You try. I will tell you. You write that. Okay, I will tell you. You can share your screen.
We don't need the recording now. You can stop.
Okay.